morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another Cybiant series of webinar. Today, our topic of the webinar will be on AI in testing, how automated testing will change with the power of AI in UiPath. So we will have a very exciting session ready for you. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Johnwee Lee. I am the head of services for Cybiant. Together with me, we have our esteemed guest, Himanshu Joshi, who is the solution architect for partner enablement from UiPath. So he will be taking us through some of the exciting features that has been launched recently, of course, with this AI buzzing. So before that, just a couple of ground rules for everybody. Please take note that this session will be recorded and we will be releasing the recording onto YouTube once we have edited the necessary details. There will be a Q&A section at the end. Please use the Q&A to post questions to us. We will take them at the end of the presentation. Now, before we end the webinar, we would like to get you to help us to complete a short 2-minute survey. Do complete that. You will be provided with a certificate of attendance at the end of it. If you have questions later on, you can drop us an email at info@cybiant.com. So before we get started, allow us to talk a little bit more or introduce ourselves as the host for the webinar. So for Cybiant, our tagline, or should I say our mission, is to help companies win in the data economy. That's what we primarily do. So Cybiant is a company focusing mainly on data and automation technology. And we actually drive IT best practices to help companies to adopt this kind of technology. A little bit about us. So we've been around for quite some time. We have quite a lot of customers across the globe. Our head office is in Kuala Lumpur. We do have offices in Singapore, Netherlands, as well as the US in that sense. So to help the companies out there to win in the data economy, typically we will try and assess and figure out where you are in the maturity of your organization. So for today, we will be focusing on the technology, specifically on what we call the predictive organization, with our partner from UiPath to talk about the tools that you can perhaps deploy and adopt in your organization. So a little bit about our history with RPA. We do have the intellectual property that was developed by our founder and CEO, Mr. Yan William, on service automation framework. So this is a vendor neutral, tool agnostic kind of a framework that you can apply specifically on adopting automation itself. If you're interested, do drop us a note. We'll be happy to take the conversation a little bit further. And quickly, just before we start the presentation, these are some of the services that we do offer as an organization. Right, over to you, my friend. I'm going to stop sharing now. Then we're going to get our buddy from UiPath to talk a little bit more on today's topic.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
No worries.
Let me introduce myself first, and then we'll start with the session. So, hi, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the globe. My name is Himanshu Joshi, and I will be your host for next 1 hour. And in this next 1 hour, we'll mainly explore what kind of capability UiPath have to offer in terms of testing and how AI is incorporated within the UiPath testing platform. If I quickly introduce myself a bit more, so I work as a solution architect in UiPath. And for last 7 years, I'm using and building automations using UiPath. And I have experience of building automation from different verticals, which includes healthcare, manufacturing, BFSI, and etc. So that's a quick intro about myself. And let's start with the session. So I'm going to quickly share my screen and we'll start with the session, right? So I quickly start sharing my screen.
Yep, it
So
is up.
awesome. So I started sharing my screen, and as you can see it, so let's continue. So we'll talk about UiPath Test Suite. We'll see what exactly UiPath Test Suite is and what kind of capabilities, what kind of AI offerings we have within the platform. A quick safe harbor here. I will be referring few forward-looking statements within the slide. So please check it with UiPath first before you pitch it to your customer or pitch it to your clients. If I quickly talk a bit about the agenda is pretty straightforward. I'll quickly give you an overview of Test Suite. We'll see what kind of capabilities, what kind of features Test Suite has to offer. And later, we'll see these feature live as well. And I'll show you the AI capabilities as well, which is added in the UiPath Test Suite platform. And we'll see how exactly you can use generative AI as well to basically enhance your testing experience. So let's get started, and I'll start with the Test Suite overview first, and we'll see how exactly UiPath Test Suite looks like. So that's how UiPath Test Suite will look like. And if you know UiPath, if you are using UiPath earlier, you might already know that UiPath is already quite famous in the automation space. And UiPath can do the automation. And if I go back as like 2015, 16, at that time we started with RPA. At that time, UiPath was a RPA company. We have our RPA tool called UiPath. With the help of that, you can build your RPA solutions. You can build your automation. Later, based on the feedback, based on the customer, based on the feedback which we receive from our customers and partner, we added more capabilities and more features into our platform to basically meet our customer needs, meet our partners' requirement. And today's UiPath is a platform. There are different products, different capabilities we have within the platform, which can basically helps you to different needs. We have process mining capability within our platform. We have intelligent document processing capability within our platform. We have communication mining capability. We have on-prem deployment capability. So there are different capabilities we added based on the different feedbacks. And same way we have UiPath Test Suite as well. So what exactly UiPath Test Suite is? UiPath Test Suite is UiPath's testing offering. And with the help of UiPath Test Suite, UiPath give you an option within its platform so you can use UiPath to test your projects. And with the help of UiPath, you can basically test your RPAs, you can test your RPA project, you can test your applications, your softwares, you can test your APIs, you can test your databases. So all these testings can be done using one single offering from UiPath. And you can see on your screen, that's how basically the different components looks like within UiPath Test Suite. So when I say UiPath Test Suite is not one product. It's basically a collection of capabilities which we have available within UiPath, which helps you in building the test automation and in testing your projects. So you can see there are mainly four components we have available. We have UiPath Studio, which is basically a no-code, low-code IDE which UiPath offers. And with the help of that, we can build the automation. We can automate UIs, we can automate APIs, we can automate databases, mainframe, Citrix, and other applications as well. If you already know UiPath, you are already aware that UiPath Studio can be used to automate virtually any application. Next, we have UiPath Orchestrator, the second component within UiPath Test Suite. And with the help of UiPath Orchestrator, you can manage your automation. So once you build your automation in UiPath Studio, you can manage all these automations using UiPath Orchestrator. And then we have UiPath Robots. So once you build the automation with the orchestrator, you can manage the automation. Next, you have to execute these automations as well. For that, we have UiPath Robots available. which you can use to basically execute your automation. So these three components were available earlier as well as a RP offering. And what we did with Test Suite is we added a new component called UiPath Test Manager. And with the help of that, you can basically manage your test automation project, and as well as you can analyze your test integration. With the help of Test Manager, you also get a seamless integration with different test management and ALM tools, which is available in the market. So you don't have to, uh, let's say if you're already using something, for example, DevOps, if you're already using Jira, you don't have to completely shift to UiPath there. You can utilize your existing infra, you can use your existing tools, and that can be also integrated within the UiPath platform. So that's how UiPath Test Suite offering will look like. It's basically a testing offering from UiPath, which you can use to basically test different applications, APIs, databases, uh, your RPAs, and it also offer you flexibility to add integration with popular ALM tools or test management tools which you are already using. The offering from Test Suite is available on-prem as well as it's available on cloud. So depends on your need, depends on your customer need. You can either go with UiPath Cloud or you can use the UiPath on-prem option. We have both the options available here. And if you see this slide, so this slide will give you a quick overview of how exactly the different component sits within the testing space and how exactly you can use it. So if you see, we have Test Manager, which basically sits in the center. And with the help of that, you have an option available to build the integration. We offer you uh, a component within Test Manager called Test Manager Connect. And with the help of Test Manager Connect, you have an option available to connect with 43 plus ALM tools and test management tool. So if you are using anything, like you are using Micro Focus, you are using Zephyr, you are using Bamboo HR, you are using DevOps, you are using SAP, everything is covered within UiPath Test Manager. We have an option available. Our platform is quite open and you can easily build the integration with any of the popular tools. We also offer you native integrations as well. So there are few native connectors also available within the platform, which again could be used. And with the help of that also, you can build your connection. Later, our test manager is connected with UiPath Studio and with UiPath Orchestrator. So with UiPath Studio, as I told you, you can build the automation, and it also has integration with popular code and tool integration tools. Like we have integration with APM, we have integration with Selenium, we have integration with Git, and we have integration with Postman as well. So if you want to do, let's say, version controlling, that can be done using UiPath. If you want to execute your Selenium based script, that can be done using UiPath. If you want to do mobile automation, that can also be done using UiPath. We have an integration with APM. You can utilize that APM integration, and with the help of that, even mobile testing and mobile automation can be done using UiPath. We also offer you integration with Postman. Postman is basically a API management tool. And with the help of Postman and UiPath Studio integration, you can even do your API testing and your API automation as well. So all these different types of testing can be done using one single product. Next, we have the UiPath Orchestrator, which is again connected with Studio and Test Manager, which you can mainly use to execute and manage your automation. And within here, we also offer you CI/CD integration. So if you want to build a CI/CD based project, that integration can also be done using UiPath. We have native integrations available with DevOps, with Jenkins, but we also offer you CLI or command line interface, which you can mainly utilize to create integration with other CI/CD tools, again, like Bamboo HR and etc. So that can also be done. So you can even add CI/CD as well in your automation solution. And then we have UiPath robots. So we have dedicated robots available in UiPath to help you with your testing need, called test robots. And these test robot can execute your test cases, can execute your test automation project. and in different machines or in different servers where you want to execute them. So that's how basically the UiPath test suite looks like. And again, we follow a open architecture, which basically means we offer you integration with popular tools, and you can use your existing infra, you can use your existing components as well within the UiPath platform. And you can basically test any application. Okay, you can virtually test any application. You can test your SAPs, your Oracles, your desktop applications, your Android applications, your iOS applications, your web applications, APIs, your terminals, your databases. So all these testing can be done using one single platform, one single offering from UiPath. I'll quickly move to the next slide. And so this slide will show you a quick overview of how exactly the integration looks like within UiPath Test Suite and how exactly this can be built. So if you see, let me use a pointer. So if you see, UiPath Test Manager sits in the center, okay, and it could be used to basically first create and define the requirement and user stories, what exactly you want to test. As I told you, we offer you integration with ALM tools and test management tool. So these requirements can be created or can be synchronized from your ALM tools as well. For example, let's say your software development team uses Jira for their user stories, or they might be using DevOps for their user stories and requirement management. So we can build that integration directly between Jira and between Test Manager. So whenever there is a requirement, that can be reflected in Test Manager directly. So that way you can easily create a connection or integration between software assets like Apex stories with the testing assets like test cases, test results, and etc. So you can build that requirement, you can create that uh, synchronization of requirement. And once it is done, based on that, you also have an option available to build the test cases. Again, if you are using, let's say, DevOps to your for as a test management tool, you have an option available to create that synchronization or create test cases from DevOps to test manager as well. So that kind of synchronization also you can do using UiPath test suite. Next, you can even send your test execution results to your test management tool. Let's say you execute something in UiPath Test Suite in UiPath Test Manager, and you want to share your results with the test management tool like DevOps. That can also be done. You can send the results directly to the test management tool there. Also, within UiPath Test Manager, you also have an option available to create defects. Let's say you are executing some test cases, and let's say for any reason the test case got failed. Then on such scenarios, you also have an option available to create a defect or raise a bug in your ALM or in your test management tool based on the issues, whatever you created. So that's how Test Manager works. It mainly sits in the center, and it offers you a deep integration with your existing test management or your ALM tools. And with the help of that, you can easily integrate it within your existing infra. Uh, there is one more thing. See, it offer you integration, but that doesn't mean you can't use UiPath Test Manager. UiPath Test Manager is independent itself. If you don't want to use any kind of integration from test management tool or from ALM tool, you always have an option available to use UiPath Test Manager as your test management tool. And with the help of Test Manager as well, you can manage all your requirements, all your test cases, all your test execution from one single place as well, which I'll show you in some time. And later, as you can see, it is further integrated with the automation capabilities like UiPath Studio, which is a low code, no code tool from UiPath, which you can use to build your automation. You can just drag and drop your actions, your activities, and with the help of that, you can build your automation. You can even invoke codes as well. So within UiPath Studio, we give you a flexibility to use it as a low code, no code platform. And we also give you a flexibility to add code as well in your solution. So if you want to write a code that can also be done. And you can execute your Python codes, you can execute your Java codes, you can execute your .NET based code as well within your UiPath Studio. We have UiPath test robots, which can execute our automation. And further, we have integration with CI/CD tools as well, which can be used to basically use CI/CD in your automation project. We offer you native integration with Azure and Jenkins, but you can integrate with other CI/CD tools as well with the help of the command line interface, which UiPath offers. So that's how the UiPath test suite solution integration exactly looks like and how this could be utilized. And if I quickly summarize it for you, if I give you a quick overview, see, UiPath test suite is basically a combination of application testing and RPA testing. RPA testing can be used by the RPA COE team or by the RPA team within the organization, and they can mainly use it to test their RPA project to make sure that their RPA workflows are working as expected. Next, test suite can be used by the software testing or a QA team as well. So software testers and application testers can use UiPath test suite, and with the help of that, they can perform application testing. So the QA team can basically test their application. It could be a desktop, it could be a window application. They can use it to test their databases, APIs, and they can virtually test any application, any software using UiPath test suite. So these are the two main personas who can use UiPath test suite for their requirement. One is the RPA COE team or the RPA automation team, and second one are your QA team or your software testers can use it. So I have this one more quick slide here, which basically give you a quick uh, view of what kind of features and capabilities UiPath has to offer. Okay, see, the main value of UiPath test suite solution basically relies in the synergies between the components as well as the integration with the most popular software development tools like Jira, Git, Jenkins, and DevOps. Apart from that, UiPath offer you integration with Citrix. You can do web automation, you can do mobile automation, API automation, you can do continuous integration, continuous deployment, you can do version controlling, you can do data-driven testing, you can do requirement management, you can do manual testing as well. So if you want to do manual testing, that can also be done using UiPath. You can do test case management, you can do test data management, you can analyze your test execution, you can do test reporting, you can do SAP automation. So all your testing requirements can be managed or can be handled by one single offering from UiPath called UiPath Test Suite. And you can see on the center, these are the different component which you're gonna use. You're gonna use UiPath Test Manager to basically manage your test. You can use UiPath Test Suite, sorry, you can use UiPath Studio to basically automate test. You can use UiPath Orchestrator to distribute these tests or execute these tests. And then you can use UiPath Robot to execute your test automation. So these are the four components looks like within UiPath Test Suite. And these are the different capabilities, different offerings we have to available. If I quickly summarize it for you again, it's UiPath offer you one component, one capability, and with the help of that, you can basically meet all your requirement needs. Now let's continue and let's quickly see what kind of personas can use UiPath Test Suite and how this could be helpful for them. Okay, so there are three main personas who can utilize UiPath Test Suite and for whom the UiPath Test Suite is more beneficial. So first persona is basically the RPA team, okay, as I told you earlier as well. So RPA team can use UiPath Test Suite, and with the help of that, they can create more resilient and robust robots. As well as with the help of UiPath Test Suite, they can easily scale the automation and uh, add RPA testing capabilities within their RPA project to make sure that their solution is working properly. Second is the application testing team or the QA teams. So QA team can mainly use it to automate virtually any software or application, and it will empower them to unify it and use the best breed testing capability which is available in the market. They can automate more, they can automate faster, and they can forget about maintenance as well. The last persona is the transformation leaders. They can also test suite can also help the leaders as well, and they can rapidly deliver business values while minimizing the cost and risk by accelerating automation and leveraging enterprise approach to the automation using UiPath Test Suite. So these are the different personas and this kind of benefit they will get by using UiPath Test Suite. Now, why should you use UiPath Test Suite? Okay, what kind of additional uh, capabilities which UiPath as a company has to offer? Okay, and why UiPath Test Suite is different from whatever is available in the market. So the first thing is we offer you share and reuse capability. Okay, so we have one of our customer is able to reuse 70% of their workflow which they build for RPA. So that same workflow can be used for testing as well, and that way you can drastically uh, reduce the effort and cost which you have to put in building your test automation project. Second, you can automate any technology. So Test Suite is basically one-stop shop for all your testing needs. Many of our customers have replaced their buckets of tool with one UiPath Test Suite only. As I told you earlier as well, with UiPath Test Suite, we only have one offering. And with the help of that, you can cover a wide variety of testing using UiPath Test Suite. Next, we have production grade automation and orchestration. So we are the only testing vendor who comes from production. I hope you all already know that UiPath is in the market for quite some time, and we already prove that we can do the automation. And we are one of the, not one of the, we are the top leader in several reports in the automation space. And we are one of the top leaders in the testing space as well. So we are coming from production grade automation, and we give you the capabilities which you can use to automate your testing projects as well. Uh, we built we basically build UiPath Test Suite to integrate seamlessly with your existing DevOps tool chain or with your existing infrastructure, with your existing infra. So if you are using something already, we have an option available within UiPath to build the integration. Next, we are leading in RPA and AI innovation. Okay, so which I'll talk about in some time. We'll see what exactly we have to offer in AI. But I can assure you that we are leading in terms of RPA. Also, we are leading in terms of AI innovation in RPA and in testing as well. We are the only vendor that is surrounding every tester with RPA and AI powered tools, with chatbots, with test data generators, with auto generation of test cases, with process mining, with task mining, with change impact analysis, with communication mining, and so on. And the last, we have a vibrant community and marketplace. So we have a community of over 1.5 million users, and our marketplace have hundreds of pre-built automation and connectors, which you can utilize to accelerate your automation or accelerate your test automation project. So if you go to our marketplace, you will see there are several pre-built components we have available here. Some are built by us, some are built by our partners, and some are built by the UiPath community as well. So you don't have to start from scratch. You can utilize these existing use cases, these existing experience, and you can enhance your test automation project experience as well using UiPath. So that's what we have to offer, and that's why UiPath is different from any other component or any other tool which is available in the market. Okay, now let's continue. And in the next part, I'll mainly show you how exactly uh, the different components sit in the different stages of a testing lifecycle and how exactly AI is embedded within the UiPath platform. Okay, so see, usually that's how, let me use a pointer again. So usually that's how the test project lifecycle will look like. Okay, in most of the cases, we have these different stages, but it could be vary from customer, vary from different users as well. But in general, these are different stages which is used in a testing project. So first we have to define what exactly we want to test. Second, we have to design. Then we have to automate what exactly we designed earlier. Once we automate it, we have to execute that. And once we do the execution, we have to analyze the test execution. And you can see the different components which can help you throughout the different stages. So we have UiPath Test Manager, which can help you in defining, designing, and analyzing your test automation project. All this thing can be done using UiPath Test Manager. Then we have UiPath Studio. So we can utilize UiPath Studio, and with the help of that, we can create the automation. And once we build the automation, we have UiPath robots, which could be used to execute these automation. Okay, so that's how basically the different component sits in the different stages of a testing project lifecycle. And now you can see here as well, all these different stages and the products are powered by AI as well. And if I quickly talk a bit about AI, see, AI is not new for us, it's not new for UiPath. And if I go back few years, like 2018, even at that time, we have AI capabilities within our platform. We added a capability called computer vision, which is basically a sub branch of AI. And with the help of that, you can do UI automation. And later, as I told you, we evolved a lot. And based on the feedback, based on the response which we got from our customers, we added more AI capabilities within our platform, like process mining, intelligent document processing, communication mining, task mining, and so on. And recently, we added generative AI capabilities and autopilot as well within our platform to enhance our customers' experience of using the UiPath products. In this session, I'll mainly focus on the AI, which is added in UiPath Test Suite. But AI is basically infused throughout our platform, okay, which I think you can explore by yourself later. So you can see here, you can define the tool. For that, we also have an integration with ALM tools like Jira, DevOps. And once you define your requirements, your stories, you have to design your test, right? For designing this test, you can use UiPath Autopilot or you can utilize generative AI. What Autopilot can do for you, it can basically read your stories, it can read your requirements, and based on that, Autopilot can generate tests for you, what exactly you should test. Once you design these tests, you have an option available to automate these tests. You can automate it using UiPath Studio. And here again, you can utilize UiPath Autopilot or generative AI. And with the help of that, you can automate your test. Next, you can execute your test as well using AI. And you can even analyze your test results as well using AI or Autopilot or generative AI. So that's how basically it looks like. Now let me do one thing. I will quickly show you how these components looks like and how generative AI or autopilot can be used here. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my slides and I will jump to the products directly. And so first I have this UiPath Test Manager for with me, and I'm using it in the UiPath Automation Cloud. Okay, I hope you all know how this works. So I'm just navigating to UiPath Test Manager, and that's how basically UiPath Test Manager will looks like. Now here you can create a new project by adding project name, project prefix, and project description. And once you build your project, that's how basically your project will look like. And you can see there are different tabs, there are different information we have available here. We have a quick dashboard where you can see a quick summarized view of how exactly your test automation project looks like. We have requirements tab, we have test cases tab, we have test sets tab, we have test results to see our result, and then we have project settings as well. Okay. Now, how you can start with your testing? Okay, you can go to your requirement and you can first define the requirement, what exactly you want to test. See, now, as I told you earlier, we offer you integration with ALM tool as well as with test management tool. Now, these requirements can come from your ALM tools from Jira or DevOps, or you can directly create your requirement from here as well. Okay, we offer you both the option. You can just click on create. You can define your requirement, you can define the description, and based on that, you can create your requirements here. Second option is you can create integration with ALM tools. If you go to project settings, if you go to integration, you will see we have native integrations available with these tools. Okay, these are native connectors. We have with Jira, with Qtest, with SAP, with ServiceNow. So you can natively connect with these tools, or you can utilize UiPath Test Manager Connect. And with the help of that, you can connect with additional 40 plus ALM and test management tool. Okay, so both the options you have available. Now, once you build the requirement, I already have a requirement built. If I quickly open it, so you will see I have the requirement here where I have a description, I have a user flow, sorry. I have a user flow and I have the acceptance criteria as well for this requirement. Okay. Now, based on this requirement, you have to build the test cases. If you see in this example, we basically have to apply for loan in this UI bank application. If I quickly open. So we mainly have to test this UI bank application, and we have to test the submit loan application page here. And you will see that is my requirement. Now, based on this requirement, we can build test cases within UiPath Test Manager. If you go to test cases, you can create your test cases here by just writing test case name, versions, and so on. And you can build both the test cases. You can build an automated test case. If I quickly create, let's say, verify loan with the, okay, let's just put verify loan, and I can just click on create. So within UiPath Test Manager, you have an option available to perform both manual and automation testing. If you see, I can add automation to my test case, and even I can perform manual testing as well. So both the options you have available. Also, you can utilize generative AI or autopilot here. If I go back to my requirement again, you will see I have two options available. I have uh, evaluate quality, and I have the next option available called generate test. So with the help of this evaluate quality, I can basically evaluate the quality of my requirement, the steps, the description which is written here, and I can basically enhance it, whether they are written properly or not. So I can utilize AI here, I can use generative AI here, and I can enhance my requirement as well. Second, I can use this generate test option. Now, what this option will do, this option will basically read your requirement, and based on that, it will suggest the test cases for you, which you have to build. If I click on generate test, you can add any kind of supporting document to it, any kind of SOP or step-by-step description. And you can even define your prompts as well for your test case. You can even create a prompt library within UiPath Test Manager. And I hope you all already know that in GenAI, uh, prompt is quite important, and you have to engineer prompt based on your requirements as well. So same could be utilized here as well. You can basically write your own prompt, and based on that also you can build your test cases. Even you can utilize a prompt library as well. And if I click on generate test, what this will do, this will run autopilot, this will utilize generative AI, and with the help of that, it will suggest the test cases from that requirement which we can build. Not only it will suggest the test cases, it will also add the manual steps which is needed in order to perform the testing. Okay, so it is loading. It's going to take some time. I already have a previous run, and if I quickly open that, you will see this one test initial. I did it yesterday, and if I click on that, so once we run this, and you can see these are the test cases which is suggested by autopilot, suggested by generative AI. Now I have an option available. I can choose any of the test case from here by checking these text boxes. And if I expand this, you will see it also have the manual steps as well. So you don't have to write any steps. It will automatically create the steps for you, what you have to perform in order to do that testing. So I have an option available. I can choose any from here. I also have an option to regenerate. I can regenerate my test again. If I don't like these tests, if these test case doesn't meeting my requirements, I have an option available to regenerate these test cases as well. And if you click on create test, it will basically create a test case for me, as you can see, and it will map that test case with the requirement. And if I go to test case, you will see I have a test case built here. And if I open it, and if I go to manual steps, you will see it automatically added all the manual steps which I have to perform in order to test this specific test case. We'll see. Navigate to this page, then navigate to products page. If you see, I have to navigate to this UI bank page first. I'll show you right away. Then I have to navigate to products, then loans. So products, then loans, then apply for loan, and then enter email. You will see all these informations are correct. So you can utilize UiPath Autopilot here, and you can say within a fraction of a second, I'm able to design my test cases. I'm able to design my test. Now, once I'm done with the designing, I have to automate these test cases as well, right? For automation as well, we can utilize UiPath Autopilot. If I go back to my UiPath Studio, see, we use UiPath Studio to automate our test, right? And if I go to UiPath Studio, and if I go to my UiPath Studio, and if I am connected with the UiPath Test Manager, make sure you are connected with your test manager. I'm connected, but let me show you how this works. So if I am connected with my test manager with the right project, so my project is UI Bank, and if I click OK, okay. So if my UiPath Studio is connected with that test manager, with that cloud instance, and if I go to UiPath Test Explorer, you will see if I refresh, you will see all the manual test cases which I built there. You'll see there are 4 test cases which I built here. If I go back to show you, you can see here, I have these 4 test cases. All these 4 test cases are now available here in my Test Explorer as well. And here you will see I have an option available to generate test case. If I do a right click here, let's say this one, you will see I have 2 options available here. I can create a coded test case. As I told you, we offer you a flexibility in UiPath platform to add code as well in your testing project. So you can add a coded test case as well, or you can generate a coded test case. What generate coded test cases will do, it will again use generative AI or autopilot, and with the help of that, it can generate the test cases for you based on the manual steps, based on the requirement. Okay, but for that, you have to make sure that you have a technical component, the UI library stored in your project. If I click on generate test, so it should start loading. We'll say it's starting generating the code. And you will see it build the automation for me. I did nothing. I just did a right click and I click on create code. And what this can do, this can create the automation for me, as you can see on your screen. So that's how basically you can utilize UiPath Autopilot or AI in UiPath Test Suite to basically design your test as well as to create your automation of based on those test cases. Okay. Uh, I don't have a technical component for this, so it might not run. But I have a different project built earlier. If I quickly show you that, this one, right? So I built this earlier, and you can see here, I can basically use my prompts, and based on that, I can build my automation. So if I quickly show you, let me copy this, and I'll delete this code as well, or let me build a new test case, right? Build a new coded test case. And here also I can use autopilot. Okay, just do a right click. Delete these extra. If I do a right click, I can click on generate code, and I will get a prompt here. Okay, the same way you get your prompt in Chat GPT, and then you can perform any actions. Same way you will get a prompt here. You can just write what exactly you want to achieve. Let's say I want to perform these actions, and based on that, UiPath Autopilot can generate the automation for me. Okay, you will see this is written in layman language. Okay, like open home from UI bank, then enter this information. And if I click on generate, what this will do, this will read all this information from the prompt, and based on that, it can generate the automation for me. You will see the automation is built. And if I try to execute it, let's see what happens. If I execute it, there is something wrong with this import. Okay, let me run my previous one. Okay, I guess I created some validation actions there. That's why it's not running. But I hope you got the gist, right? You can basically use this. You can do a generate. You can use this generate code option from here. And with the help of that, Autopilot can even build the automation for you using UiPath. Okay, so you don't have to even build the automation. You can utilize AI for that. So you can utilize AI for automation generation as well. And at last, you can even use AI to analyze your test execution results as well. If I go back to Test Manager, so I don't have a test execution here. You will see it's empty. That's why I have a previous project. And what we can do here, if I go to test results, you can see I have some test execution results here. And here also, we can utilize AI. We can utilize Autopilot or generative AI. If I click on this option, and if I click on generate insight, so what this will do, this will uses AI, and with the help of that, it will create a insight report for us. It will analyze the whole text execution, and it will give us a summarized view of how exactly the test automation looks like. What are the top failure test cases? What is the reason of the failure? And it will even also suggest to you how this can be improved on your test automation project. So it is processing. It's going to take few minutes or seconds. I already have a previously built insight, and if I quickly open that for you, you can see here it will give me a quick insight. It will give me a quick overview, the overall failure rate from the execution. It will also give me the top failing test cases in my project. Uh, it will give me the common errors as well. What are the common errors I'm getting in my project? So I can improve these projects as well. It will also give me the error patterns, what can be improved. And even it will also give me the recommendation, which can be improved in my test automation project. So I can utilize this AI based insight, and based on that also, I can improve my test automation project. So that's how basically you will see it is done. And if I open it, it's pretty much same, but within a fraction of a second, you will see I'm able to create my requirement. I'm able to design my test cases. I'm able to automate my test cases as well. And I'm even able to get the insight from my test results as well. So that's how you can utilize AI in your test automation projects to basically enhance your experience, and you can speed up the process of building your test automation projects. So that's how basically AI will looks like within UiPath Test Suite, and how this could be utilized. Uh, Now I can quickly talk a bit about the use cases where Test Suite can be used, and then we can take the Q&A. Okay, see now when I talk about use cases of testing, see this could be used virtually in any industry or in any verticals, right? If you are using a software, if you're using an application, if you're using a RPA project, you can utilize UiPath Test Suite there. But here are the few examples from different verticals where it could be used. So in finance, it could be used for your loan processing, your transaction testing, your account creation and management. In insurance, this could be used for your policy management testing, your claims processing testing. In healthcare, it could be used for the different patient portals which are used in appointment management testing and so on. In manufacturing, it could be used for your ERP integration, your ERP migration as well. It's also a quite a big use case for testing, real-time reporting and analyticals for your product lifecycle management, can also be used. In retail, it could be used for your supply chain management and inventory. Uh, in government, it could be used for e-government platforms to test them. Uh, in education, it could be used for admissions, for procurement, and etc. So these are the different use cases where UiPath Test Suite can be used. Okay, and see, uh, you can virtually use UiPath Test Suite anywhere, right? If you're using an application, if you have some software in your organization, you can use it to basically test them and basically uh, increase your testing speed with the help of automation from UiPath Test Suite. So that's pretty much all which I have to show you now. And now we can jump to the Q&A section and we can see if you guys have any questions or any doubt from whatever I covered today.
Wow, what a pack full of features, Himanshu. I am seriously impressed and surprised at the same time. Looking at all the features that you have just shared with our audience and myself on this new component called the UI Task Manager. It is super impressive. I mean, from my personal point of view, I think you have just indicated a new way of working on these test cases, right? Because I mean, I was a trained programmer. I mean, earlier part of my career, test cases was not my favorite subject. I can assure you, Himanshu. Now that looking back, if I had this earlier, it would have made my job a lot more easier as a programmer. You know, designing those codes and then doing the test case. Right.
And see, the autopilot is mainly built.
Sorry.
Please go ahead. See, the autopilot is mainly built to enhance your productivity as a tester or as a test automation engineers. And even if you see on my screen as well, what I show you, within a fraction of a second, I'm able to define my test case. I'm able to automate my test cases. And if you don't use AI, you might have to spend days in designing them or in automating them. So that's the benefit you will get with AI in Test Suite.
And when we write test cases, I think one of my biggest concern previously as a programmer is that I may have missed out certain test cases, regardless whether that's positive or negative in that sense, right? I want to make sure the test is as holistic, as comprehensive as possible to make sure that, you know, the quality is there on the code, right? Because sometimes, you know, if you don't test it, you never know, right? Yeah, so I think you've actually demonstrated a very interesting component from that perspective in that sense. Right, guys, those of you who are in the audience, do post question in the Q&A so I can get Himanshu to perhaps take a few questions to help to explain a little bit further to you on this new feature called the UiPath Test Manager. If you have any, I don't see any question as yet in the Q&A, but like I said, personally, Himanshu, I'm really impressed that these tools are now available, and especially the open so-called platform integration, right? That UiPath is bringing to the community in that sense that it allows us to integrate, right? I think that's a very powerful way of using the tools in allowing, like I said, for us to really automate this. Right, any questions from the audience? Do post it in the Q&A. Okay, if there isn't any questions, could I please quickly get you guys to help scan the so-called QR code on the screen? I'm sharing my screen, a quick QR code. We would really appreciate if you can just whip up your handphone and scan that and give us a little bit of a feedback on how the Cybiant webinar series has been going together with our principal UiPath here, so that we can continue to come up with new topics of discussions and share new knowledge with all of you in our future, what we call a series of webinar as well. So do help us out by completing that 2 minutes of the webinar evaluation by scanning the QR code. While waiting for the audience to scan that, Himanshu, any other last items or any comments or feedback would you like to consider to share with our audience on this? Yeah.
Sure. See, earlier the autopilot and AI feature was in preview, but now it's available as a GA. So if you want, you can utilize it in your own system as well. It's available as a GA now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, okay. I can see there is
So,
one question in the Q&A panel.
okay. Right. Yes,
Can you?
there are some
Yeah,
questions there. So maybe if I can read them for you, Himanshu, you can take them.
yeah,
All
sure.
right. The first question is, can the UiPath Task Manager cater for API testing too? Post and get method, perhaps?
Yeah. So answer for this is yes. You can do API testing. We have dedicated activities available in UiPath for API testing. Also, you can utilize UiPath integration services, and we have integration with Postman as well. So we have different options available. You can even consume your post, get, put, delete, different methods, and you can perform API testing.
So I think it's up to your personal preference. Which one
Right.
would you choose, right? In that sense, that
Yes.
would be you're familiar with or you're convenient in doing that. Hope that answered the question. Thank you, Himanshu, for that. I'll look. We have a second question here in the Q&A. How does UiPath Autopilot differ from traditional automated testing tools, and what unique advantage does it offer? I think there's two parts of the question. Himanshu, over to you.
So see how autopilot is different from traditional tool. Okay, see, our testing offering is UiPath Test Suite, okay, which you can use to build your automation. It's a low code, no code tool. You can drag and drop, and you can build your test automation project. The UiPath Autopilot is a AI capability which is infused in the UiPath Test Suite. And with the help of that autopilot, you can enhance your test automation experience. See, you can use Test Suite to build your automation. You can use it to build your test cases, your test automation project. But with the help of autopilot, you can enhance it. You can speed up your process of building these test cases, designing the requirement. So that's the benefit you will get. And how it is different from others. So you will see that UiPath feature is quite intensive. You will see it only took me only 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I was able to build my test cases. Okay. There are other features as well which UiPath offers, like we have a vibrant community of 1.5 million plus users who use UiPath daily. We have a marketplace in UiPath which give you several pre-built components. Uh, we are always in the top of any report in terms of test automation, in terms of RPA, and that's how UiPath different from others.
Thank you, Himanshu, on that. We do have another question that is in the Q&A. The question is, what are the common challenges organizations will face when implementing an AI-driven automated testing, and how we can overcome them? You have any thoughts on this one, Himanshu?
So see, the main challenges which organization face with AI or with generative AI is how they can make sure that the AI they are using is safe. Their data is not going somewhere, or someone will not misuse that data. Okay, that's the biggest concern which I heard from even our customers as well nowadays. And with the emergence of generative AI, people ask this question a lot. Okay, how they can make sure that the AI they are using is safe. Okay, so to help you with that, we have some guiding principle within our platform, which is open, flexible, and responsible. Apart from that, we offer AI trust layer, which is basically I'll say a kind of a wall which is we have between our platform and between the third party AI or any kind of AI which you are using. So that way you can make sure that whatever AI, whatever data you are feeding, you are using is not misused by any of the AI or any of the third party. So that's the major challenge which the customers are facing, and that's how we are helping them with these kind of issues.
Thanks, Himanshu. If I may just add to that, answering that question as well, we would normally recommend organization who is embarking on a AI-driven kind of a project. Doesn't matter is it automated testing or not. First and foremost, seriously, you should have established a kind of an internal policies on the use case. on where would you like AI to be adopted or used. I think that's very critical from a governance, risk and compliance perspective, to have a internal policy which clearly sets the guardrail of where that parameter is, or how you apply that. Like Himanshu mentioned, right, the data is actually another key component. You might want to have your chief data officer or your data team to provide guidance as to what data is actually appropriate to be fit into the AI so-called technology or the solution that you have adopted. Because again, the most important thing is to protect the data, like Himanshu mentioned, and also to look at what are the intellectual property that your organization may have. Now, lastly, also, I would probably recommend that you also involve the security team, or specifically the cybersecurity team, to conduct a continuous so-called scanning of the AI technology that you adopt to so-called identify any potential cybersecurity gaps that may exist in there. This should be an ongoing kind of exercise to help you to make sure that you have visibility on the tools, specifically on the AI side that you are using. Hope that helps in that sense. Anyway, thanks for helping us with the questions. Right, if there is no more questions, and we hope you have actually enjoyed the session with us. We want to thank you for joining us today in investing your time together with myself and Himanshu to so-called learn a little bit more on this specific topic. If you do have questions, do drop us a quick email at info@cybiant.com. We will be happy to work with our principal UiPath or even Himanshu to try and take those questions or help you in that sense. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. Himanshu, it's a fantastic session. Thank you for introducing the UiPath Test Manager features to us and all the functionality. I think this is going to be a game changer in that sense in doing test cases. Himanshu, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day and happy automation.